ready for this.
From the stadium and light to Ellen Road we stand. Red and white meets a Yorkshire band. North meets north with a rival twist. We clash, we joke, you get the gist. Bridging the gap, it's the weekly show. Sunderland Leeds, let the banter flow. Two clubs, two hearts, but we still chat. Laughing and shouting where the football's at. Only fools in SAFC. And imagine not being Leeds. That's right! Hey!
Well, hello. I do apologise for the lateness at the start of the show, but we've had a bit of a nightmare, and as you can probably tell on the screen, I'm like an absolute robot. My Wi-Fi has just decided to shit itself. So if I'm like a robot, I do apologise, but I hope the sound's all right. But anyway, welcome to another edition of Bridging the Gap. These weeks are flying by. Another week to go before the international break. Delighted to be joined again by my good mate Matty. Matty, how are you doing, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. Just let us know in the chat if how bad this is. It was bad on my channel, what it were in the last 20 minutes or so last week. Let us know how bad it is. That would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, in terms of life, in terms of football, I'm feeling pretty damn good, mate. A little bit of I know we'll get into it, but a little bit of a negative towards the end of our game, but still an overriding positive, and nothing but positive vibes from me to my club at the minute, pal. Which long may it continue.
Great stuff, mate. Glad to hear it. So, before we get into the show, let's see who's in the chat. So, Susie Foster says, we are very good. Leeds performances have been good. They should stay up. Gary Hoyle, evening, lads. Let's have another great show with the pair of you. John W, evening, everyone. Another lively time to be had by all. Yes, I'm sure it will be. Ian Brown, your mate. All right, Matty and Wayne. You would have thought, come on, Matty, we are here for you, pal.
Come on, Richard.
My mate is in as well, Steve Robinson. Hello, morning.
Yeah, go on, Robbo. Go on, Robbo.
He's there. Yes, just let you see a few. Please put in the chat how bad this really is, because I can see my screen is absolutely shocking. Looking forward to the show, says Richie. Ian Brown, United will get pissed on. That's goodbye, Amarin. I hope you're right. Steve SM, 68. Hi, Wayne and Matty. Congrats to both teams on a very good start of the season. 11 plus 8 points is fantastic achievement, FTM. Steve Taylor, good evening, guys. Can I first, what a fantastic sender for a Big Davy Atkinson. It was yesterday. Well done to everyone who attended the Durham Creme. So Big Davy was one of our big fans. He's a local radio celeb, Matty, so passed away a couple of weeks ago. So his funeral was yesterday. So fair play to everybody who turned up, but it'd be a big miss. He's big local celebrity.
Oh, well. Yeah, rest in peace, fella.
Abraham Al-Mutwa, evening, chaps. Tom, hi, Wayne, boo, Matty. That'll do me, another one of your fans in. Great sound, Wayne. At least the sound's all right, isn't it? That's
you sound fine. The screen, I mean, you look all right now. The screen, always look all right, Wayne, but you know what I mean. You look like a robot. You're a handsome robot, mate. But the sound's not been an issue, so hopefully that continues, mate.
Don't worry, man. Come to 11 clear. Just keep looking at Matty. He's a good looking one anyway. Just take the focus off me.
Don't know about
that. Right then. So we'll touch on your game first, Matty.
Oh, mate. What a game of football. So for me, it was one for the football purists. As a fan, you're invested, you're nervous, you get all the, I speak a lot about jeopardy and wanting to feel jeopardy in sport. I've had 2 years where we won most games. I ain't going to complain about that, obviously, but it was nice to be at Ellen Road and feel a little bit of jeopardy. We've had 2 years of winning almost every home game. With 23 home games unbeaten in a row in the league. 381 days we're on now. It was a really, really good. Yeah, there you go. 380 days, unbelievable, mate. Second best run in England of all the divisions. But yeah, it was a game of it was a really good footballing game, mate. Both sides wanted to win the game, which, let's be fair, you don't see that every week, and especially not at Ellen Road. Obviously the multitude of those games coming in Championship, a lot of sides come and sit back and try and spoil the game, which is sometimes the right way to do it. I'm sure we'll do it against some of the bigger boys in this division. But in terms of end-to-end sort of stuff, I think we all know how good Bournemouth are, Wayne. And I took a point before the game. As the game develops, you get to the point where coming out of a point is very disappointing. We've dropped 3 points now in 1 at Fulham and two on Saturday from positions of strength going into the final moments of the game. Is that a worry? I'd say not. I think sometimes these things happen. A couple of goals from set pieces, which is a shame, but we didn't get carved open either, which is good. I think defensively we're looking really solid to the eye. The stats will say we're conceding too many goals, but 5 were at Arsenal. Let's not forget that. So I do think we're in a good spot. But it was a brilliant game of football. Win. I don't know how much of it you saw. Really happy with how we played. Kept the ball well in spells. Really tidy football. DCL finding great pockets of space in the box. If he gets the finishing right, which hopefully he does, he's going to be a massive asset to us going forward. But yeah, just in terms of just enjoying a game of football, regardless of the end, it were right up there for me as one of the best games of football I've seen at Ellen Road in a fair while, pal.
Good comment, Gary. Both look like we belong in the Premier League, which is probably right. We're both looking comfortable.
Great point.
But before the game, Matty, on the lineup wise, I mean, obviously Bogle was fit. We thought he was going to be out for a couple of games. Were you surprised that Bogle playing? And what was your thoughts on your lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too surprised it came out maybe a day or so earlier. The rumours that he's probably going to make the squad, and I think under Farke, if he's going to make the squad, he's probably going to start him. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as we thought. At Wolves picking up that injury, just a bruised foot rather than a broken foot, which it looked pretty bad at the time. But yeah, as soon as I knew he were involved, he'd be in there. The only real talking point for me was going to be on that right wing. Nonto was back. Dan James was back on the bench, sorry. Nonto didn't make it. I kind of hoped Dan James would start, but obviously there would have probably an issue with his fitness for that game, and he's favoured Aronson. So Aronson's the only really talking point in this side for me at the minute, is that right wing spot. Depending who's fit, who starts there. But outside that, I was really happy with the lineup, mate. I think we're getting to a point now where we can see Farke's best 11 just about. The defence speaks for itself. The midfield 3 now. That is it. Longstaff, Stack. Tanaka's going to be on the bench now. That's it. Longstaff, Stack, and Ampadu will be a free. DCL's a striker, and it's Okafor on that left. So it's only that right wing spot I kind of feels up for grabs. So I expected to see Aronson in there. He kept it through merit with a good performance at Wolves. And if I'm honest, mate, I'm really, really excited about the rest of this season, because been a lot said about Leeds United signings. Not good enough quality, relying on injury, staying fit and not getting injuries. Obviously, we're all reliant on that, whether you've signed people with injury history or not. Anyone can get injured on any given day. So that is the concern going forward, and the hope that it doesn't happen. But when you look at the players that are making an impact now, we've signed Goodmanson, different gravy. Stack, Longstaff, different gravy. Calvert-Lewin, unreal. Honestly, people laughing at that signing. It's laughable now when we look at how well he's playing. Okafor on that left looks a threat. Yeah, we've got 4 or 5 others that we brought in who haven't had minutes yet, and maybe squad options, but there's a good 5 players there that are starting games for Leeds United where they've come in and it's been seamless transition. It's been a seamless transition, and you've got a few in there like Longstaff, is going to come in and do well in DCL because they've been in division. But I've been really impressed with Stack, Goodmanson especially, and now Okafor's coming good. So lineup-wise, bar Aronson, potentially, depending who's fit, the other 10, that'll be us, mate, going forward.
Good stuff. I did watch your game, obviously, with us playing later on. I watched your game, and like you say, it was a good start. I think you started the game at home. You'll always be a threat. The fans are up for it, aren't they? So, but you're on about Stack and Aronson there. Stack gives a really, really poor free kick away on the edge of the box, doesn't he?
He does.
But then, Matty, talk us through this. What the fuck? What the fuck the other day? I mean, I heard a commentator saying Daniel Farke doesn't like a set piece coach. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, what the fuck? What? Talk us through this. What's happened here?
Brendan, the draft excluder, Aronson, it's a shock. I mean, don't get me wrong, mate. We see a lot of teams set up like this, which I don't really understand. But the fact that it goes straight past him is just laughable. But it's a bit of a mad one, mate, because for me, where the free kick is, Wayne, it's too close, really, to get it up and over wall, right? So for me, he's only really got one option. And the way we're lining up, for me, we're just going to drive it. I don't think the wall has to jump. So regardless of Brendan, it's laughable that he's laid on 4 and it goes past him. But I had to ask about that. It's more that the wall jumped. I think if you're maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 yards further out, there's a chance for him to go up and over wall. But I don't think you were ever going to get over that wall and back down. So they didn't have to jump for me. And as soon as you jump and he's drilled it along floor, either it's Aronson, which is the hope. But But obviously on this occasion, it just goes past him like he's not even there. So yeah, he can't even do that right, bless him. But it was a great hit. But again, it was one of those moments where you just think, why is that happening to us? Anybody else that just hits wall and goes off, or the whole set piece coach thing, it's something we need to work on. Have we got one? I don't think we have. We've got a few people in the side now who were sort of promoted to sort of look at that as an area of concern in training and focus on it. But I do feel like we need more, because that was just embarrassing.
Aye, it was poor. I mean, when I seen that, I thought, DME. I mean, like it's one of them just comedy moments where you think, hang on, what's happened there? But having said that, you're going to go behind. You do fight back again. Joe Rodon, cracking header from a cracking corner. I was going to ask you about Joe Rodon. I mean, he was a proper threat. He was on Saturday. Do you think he should be getting more goals? Because he hasn't got that many, has he? I think, being the size of him and how good he is in there, he should be more of a threat in the other box.
Yeah, obviously it's his first goal in Premier League. Played a bit in there for Tottenham as well, but first goal in Premier League. I think it's only his second goal for Leeds. I think it's always been one of them things at Leeds United, mate. We're not a massive threat from corners. When it comes to our centre half, Strauch's the one that normally gets one if he's gonna. That, boys, don't you? Come on, Strauch, I can get 1 or 2 against you, boys, don't you? I'll take that. But yeah, it should be. He's an absolute warrior for us. He's unbelievable. He never lets us down. He's probably an 8 out of 10 every week. He's great in our box at defending. He gets his head and everything. I do think, like you say, he's so good in the air. He's such a threat. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just we haven't found him. The quality of our delivery hasn't been that good for a long time. Stack's been taken, which I don't agree with. I think you should have Stack in the box, and he occupies other players. It was nice to see that change on Saturday, and Longstaff take him. And I kind of think Longstaff's delivery, we're putting it into an area where we're allowing Joe Rodon to go and attack it. There's so many times when we hit it too long, we hit the first man. If you get the box in, if you get the ball into the right areas for a decent percentage of efforts, which I think Longstaff did, you're always going to have an opportunity with Rodon, because he is dominant in there. But yeah, I agree. He needs to do more, and hopefully that's the start of him being a bit more of a goal threat.
I mean, obviously the quality that's coming from Longstaff will help. And then touching on Longstaff, he gets his goal to cap off probably a man of the match performance in your eyes. You're probably going to see later on, but gets the goal. It's a great strike and all off the post, isn't it? So, what's your thoughts on getting his first goal for the club?
Yeah, buzzing, mate. I weren't too. I mean, I was happy with the signing when we got Longstaff, but I weren't too sure what he'd give us like in an attacking output. I knew he'd work hard. I knew he'd, really good at keeping hold of ball, winning it back, passing it on to a more creative player. But that strike, I've seen a lot of people say sliced it. He was lucky. I think it's bollocks. I think he's hit across the ball, and he's got it into an area goal where the keeper had no chance of saving it. I think it's a great for his first goal. Cop end at Ellen Road, absolutely mint moment for him, and I love how many times he got to the edge of our box. He's a box-to-box midfielder for me, and he should be popping up with 4 or 5 goals this season in that sort of area. The ball bounces to him, and he's there. We know he can hit a ball, and I don't think. So sometimes when you leave a club, the club is left and happy to see back here. That's not been the case with him. The amount of comments I've had on my TikTok and my YouTube from the videos I posted the goal on my socials, and the amount of comments I've had from the Geordies, look after him. We shouldn't have let him go. A lot of people saying that, especially with their slow start this season. And it's credit to us we got him on such a low fee, really. But yeah, he's overtook Tanaka now as a starter in the side, and he's probably been our man at match for the last 2 or 3 weeks now. And I was so happy for him. He got that goal, mate. So happy.
Aye, he looks like a proper signing for you. As much as it pains to see it, because
he's a good player, mate.
But he's a good player. He's a good player, and I think he's just brought that calmness and that experience to your midfield. But 93rd minute, sucker punch again, Matty. Another late goal you conceded. Was it Fulham away? And then obviously you think the game's won. It's another set piece and all, 2 set pieces. Is that a worry? Is that a reflection on Farker? Should be seeing the games out and didn't?
Yeah, I mean, depends what side of the fence you're sitting, mate. I can see that point. The Goodmanson one at Fulham was just a freak moment, as you can imagine. You could hit that ball in box number 99 times, and that it's a different outcome of that. So it's hard to the stats say, the facts say we've conceded goals late on. Is it a mentality thing? Is it subs? Is it Farkas tactic? There's a lot of stuff goes into it. I would say in both games, we are holding on. You know, Fulham, we're holding on. We've retreated a bit. We've dropped that 10 yards. We are definitely not on the ropes as such, but we're happy with where we are in the game, and we're quite happy to shut up shop. And that can be deemed a negative. But for me, that's what most sides do. You know, when you're at home, when you're away and you're 0-0 going into 90-odd minute, you probably do the same, and you invite a bit of pressure on, giving corners away and giving them an opportunity to score. And it was the same on Saturday. We're at home, we're 2-1 up. You drop back, and it can go one of three ways. You can hold on to 2-1. They push forward, get the equaliser, or you can spring an attack and get a third, a bit like Brentford did against Scum. So it's just the way football is now. I just think naturally we eased off a little bit, and that's my only critique. I'm a massive believer in your best form of defence is just keep attacking, you know, like you have done all game. What's got us 2-1 up. The subs have been criticised, taking off Aronson and bringing on Tanaka on the right wing. But again, he ain't a right winger, but he isn't expected to play on the right wing for half an hour. He's there just to sort of be another body in midfield for the last few minutes. Bringing on Metcher instead of taking off DCL, could that have happened earlier? You've got Biol on bench, who's a centre half. Maybe when you've got a set piece coming into your box, maybe you should bring another centre half on to combat that, you know, to especially when he's 6'3", 6'4". So there's a lot of things what you can pinpoint, but for me, you've just got to look at they're a good side of Bournemouth. They've been knocking on door for the last 20 minutes of game. For me, Strout should have gone and won that header. Strout got beat at first ball. Ampadu switched off just down to fatigue. 90-odd minutes. You do think the game's done, and it's just a unfortunate sort of goal. But what happens in the Premier League, I take from it more than anything, Wayne, the chances we missed first half. You know, Calvert-Lewin had 3 really good chances. Probably only one of them he should have put away the header for me. The other 2 were good saves. But you miss your chances, you get punished, and that's what I look at it, rather than looking as a negative on my side, which some people do and some people will. I look at it from the point of the view of you get punished if you don't take your chances, and it's hard as a newly promoted side to take every chance you get. You know, on another day we're 3-4-1 up at half time in that game without playing too well really as well. They had the best of the first half, but we had the better of the chances. On another day we're going 3-1 up, you know, and we hold on to that. So yeah, I ain't going to be too negative about it. I'm happy with what I saw. A bit unfortunate, but I do think those things swinging roundabouts, and I'm sure we'll get a few late winners as season goes on.
I'm sure you will. I mean, you know, like you're saying, Calvert-Lewin, I think it was 18 seconds, one of the chance he had straight from the kick-off, didn't it? So
a bit too early for him, that I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
If he puts that away, then, you know, it's a different game. But I think, you know, it was going to be a tough game beforehand. You know, they were fourth in the league for a reason. You know, and we discussed at the start of the season, we thought they would struggle. And they haven't. They've been far from up with the players they've lost and what they've done. They've been absolutely amazing this season. And from what I've seen of the players they've sold, they've done some good business. That Kirkes has been absolutely shocking for Liverpool. So
yeah. I mean, I pretty much in whole back line and goalkeeper sold them. I mean, they sold one to Liverpool, one to Real Madrid, one to PSG. So they were selling, you know, players, big assets for them, or a lot of money they brought in. They're doing it the right way, aren't they? And then somehow they've managed to, you know, reinvest a portion of that money, a smaller portion of that money, on keeping them very similar to last season in terms of quality and results, if not better. So yeah, I think it's not a lazy thing to sort of say, is it? You look at who they lost and you go, well, they're going to struggle because they've lost too many of the best players. Nah, fair play to Bournemouth. Can laugh at the size of the club. We can jibe and say we should be there. They're there on merit. They've got a top coach, unbelievable coach. I'm a massive fan of Iriola, and they're a really attractive side to watch on the iron. I thoroughly enjoyed the game as a spectator of football, to be honest.
Yeah, there's the one from you, right? Long season ahead, but does Matty still think our new signings may not settle or take years to settle? Just what he said, that's all. So is he one of yours, Ryan, or is he one of mine?
Long season ahead, but does Matty still think our new signings may not settle or take ages to settle? I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. I do have someone called Ryan.
Maybe he's on about our new signings. Do you think we're going to take a while to settle in? But we'll touch on something a little bit from where we are. I mean, I think ours have settled in straight away, but I know you said, you know, Longstaff would probably get your man of the match, but, you know, if you look at the stats on here, you can see why. You know, 10 out of 13 duels won, 8 out of 11 ground duels won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels won for Longstaff. Yeah. But some great stats on there, Matty. I mean, even Okafor, you know, 91% passing rate, So even he's come in and kind of settled in and done well for you, hasn't he? So any of those kind of, apart from Longstaff, who else kind of stood out for you on Saturday?
Goodmanson, I mean, his accurate passes there is quite low, but Goodmanson stands out for me. I mean, he sort of created the Longstaff goal through just pure endeavour and effort. He won the ball or lost the ball, then re-won it, didn't he, on the edge of the area, as if it were going to go out for a corner, kept it in, and then it ricocheted through with a couple of shots and forced the Longstaff. But Goodmanson, I think he's absolutely top draw. The engine on him, up and down, usually makes the right decision. Bar Fulham, where the ball hits him and goes in. But yeah, Goodmanson for me has been my standout so far, and I'm really liking how him and Okafor look. I'm quite surprised to see the accurate passes of Okafor being so high, because he is a risk taker, and we saw away at Wolves he lost the ball quite a lot, which I didn't mind, and I didn't want that to be sort of coached out of him, because Farke does mind. He doesn't want him losing balls much, obviously, and he highlighted that in his presser. But I don't feel like the stats say that he played a bit more safe, but I don't feel like he did. I feel like he was very aggressive. There were a couple of times where Okafor broke into box and beat 2 or 3, and just didn't quite get the shot away. So, if I'm honest, mate, it's hard to pinpoint any particular player. I'm really, really infused by the whole team now. Underneath the 11, we haven't seen much yet. Late subs and a few players coming in. But in terms of the starting 11 as it is, I'm absolutely over the moon with how we're looking. Absolutely over the moon. You just want an honest side, someone who'll, teams that'll work hard, and you have all that in abundance. And I know you've got that too. And that's all you can ask for as a paying fan, really, that they give a shit about the shirt they're wearing. But I tell you what, we're playing with a lot more quality than even Farke is admitting that we have. A lot of time Farke spoke in pressers, mate, and stuff, saying, we haven't got the quality in the final third, we needed more, and he alluded to this plenty of times during the window and after. But I think he's talking waffle, to be honest. I don't know if it's to get a reaction, I don't know if it's to play down fans' sort of feelings, as in we're going to have a good season. But I think we've got quality all over the pitch. I'm really, really pleased. We're going to win the league. Get his passport out. European tour. Leeds are going to Europe. Come on, honestly, I'm over the moon, mate. I'm over the moon. I'm in a really good spot.
It's us that I've just renewed our passports. Never mind you lot up there.
Yeah, man. Love it.
Ryan, I thought Ryan was one of mine, so he's right. Cheers, Ryan, for letting us know.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Put in the comments, and so John W says DCL should have had 3 before half time. I think he had 3 decent. Certainly the first one, I think he should have scored, but
yeah, he should.
Couple of heart snapped. They were come at him quick than the other 2. But
yeah.
Ian Brown had to take a chance in the Prem and not concede last minute. Richie Wood thought evening top banana. There's a comment there which we'll come back to later on, because they must have read our script. Richie Wood thought, will the AFCON kill Sunderland, or will you have enough points already to ride the storm? Well, we haven't got enough points yet, but I think we'll be fine. I think out of the starting lineup that we had on Saturday, only 3 would possibly be away, so I think we'll be all right.
Did you say, Wayne, when you get to how many points you on? 11?
11, aye.
11. Didn't you say something about if you're on 11 points within 10 games, they've never gone down? Is that right?
That was a stat. I think it was also a stat after 8 points after something like 3 or 4 games. Was that kind of stat as well? So we all know if stats to be broken, Sunderland will break them. But
you're way ahead of the curve at the minute.
We're miles ahead of where we thought we'd be. So
yeah, of course you are.
Richie Hogan, Matty watched your vlog, and it appeared that Brendan kept the ball very well on Saturday.
He did, Richard. He did.
All right, so Matty said our new signs would struggle to settle in as they hadn't played in Premier League apart from Xhaka and Adingra, who had Premier League experience. So that might have been something you said on an earlier show, Matty.
Did I say that, Ryan? Did I say that? Maybe I did.
Think you did. I think you did.
I think, you know what it is? I think it's one of those things where you play devil's advocate, and I'm really good, I say really good. I like to weigh up both sides, if I go in there and I'm like, oh, Leeds are going to do this, it's normally just for a bit of reaction, a bit of fun, but I can see both sides. So I think what I said was, I think you're going to do really well. As a Leeds fan, obviously, we need to stay up. I want us to stay up. I'd love all 3 newly promoted sides to stay up, by the way. But if we're to stay up at your expense, so be it. And I think all I've said is, as a Leeds fan, all we can hope is because you brought in so many players, it takes a while for them to get going. I suppose I'll have said it somewhat like that. Because I've always said I'm a little bit envious that you've splashed the cash like you have, and I think you brought in some really good players. So I don't think it's a lack of quality you've got, but I think I may have said I've probably looked at it from that point of view. You've got a lot of components, which I think you even said at one point when will they all gel, will they all go? Because you've literally got a brand new 11 in and around a brand new 11, and I definitely said that may be a negative, but it hasn't been at all.
No, it's kind of been pretty perfect, really. Apart from that defeated Burnley. But there's my mate Mike on there. So Mike from Black Cats TV. Hi, Mike. Good evening to you. We're going to win the league. So Mike's convinced. He's already got his passport sorted. He's convinced we're going to get top 6. So
he's one of them. Gets it, doctors, mate.
We have 2 or 3 players in each position covering the players if selected to go to AFCON. Diarra might not even be fit enough to go as he's out until December. He's been a blow, but not a bigger blow as we thought it would be. But you mentioned the Areola just before we touch on our game. Obviously, we play Man United at the weekend with a certain Mr. Amarin job on the line. If he gets the push, do you think he could be on Man U shortlist?
I think they'd be daft not to look at it. I've heard rumours that they're looking at getting Potter. I hope they get Potter. I've heard
Southgate mentioned and all. I've heard Southgate mentioned.
Get Southgate as well. I couldn't give a shit. I think Amarin's doing a wonderful job. I'd love him to stay in that job. He's doing fantastic. So it's a weird one this week because I'm like, loads of Leeds fans are thinking, who do we go on this one? And I think if you beat Scum, I think he's sacked, to be fair. So do we want Scum to win as Leeds fans? I can't even go there, mate. Do I? But yeah, if they get Areola, I'll be gutted with that because for me, he's got the tactical nous and the management quality to turn that side around. Not to make him into anything they used to be, I wouldn't have said, but he can definitely steer him in the right direction, can Areola. And then, if he stays for a period of time, he would transfer window after transfer window, build something bigger and better than Bournemouth. You'd imagine with budgets they have there, it's ridiculous. Right. But he's really good at bringing in players and having an eye for talent, and his team around him are people we don't sort of know, where Scum go by people, don't they, and spend ridiculous amounts of money. I think he'd turn around basically, so I hope it doesn't come out. But I've not heard that name mentioned. No. I've heard it's Potter, apparently, which I think would be wild, but I love it if that's the case.
That's absolutely crazy. That if that's what they're looking for, honestly.
He hasn't been able to make it work at West Ham, Chelsea, and then he goes to Scum. I'd absolutely love that. For me, that's
just
for
you.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, it's long may it continue watching Scum. And I don't. Do you dislike Man United or not? I know you hate Newcastle there, but do you look at Man United and think, I hate that or not? Is there nothing there? No,
not for me.
No.
I didn't like Man City. I just think because they win everything or that in recent times, it's just nice to see them struggle for a bit. So I've got no really opinion on Man United. So just Newcastle for us. Newcastle.
Fucking hate them.
There's always been a rivalry, Matty, between you and like Man United.
As long as I've been alive, mate. Yeah, from the 70s, I think, but maybe before that, people know more about history than me. But like all my lifetime, horrible club. They're not too far from us. You got to think they're only about 40 odd mile.
That's a little bit of a derby.
Well, 40 odd mile. I walked it, didn't I? Don't forget. So yeah, about 44 grueling miles it is between us and Scum.
Still got the blisters to prove it.
I have, mate. Literally, I have. I have.
So, but a good. I think overall, Matty, was a good point for you. I really do. I think against them, I did fancy us to win. I did, and after he went 2-1, I thought he'd won the game. But I suppose a team that's fourth in the league, they were flying. I think it's a decent point for you, really. But
yeah, it is, mate. Come on, let's get into your boys. Come on.
How then? So we knew going into Forest. I did say that Postecoglou would not be the right manager for them. And he's not won a game for them yet, which we've been proved right. And now they're going to draw in the game before we played against Betis, but again conceded a late goal. But for me, his football doesn't fit their style of play. We went there full of confidence. I mean, it was absolutely a real backs to the wall performance from us. But they were under pressure. The pressure was all on them. We went there, and I didn't want to see a free hit. But we went there full of confidence, no pressure to get a result, and they did the job. They did the job perfectly. 10 minutes, we could have scored in the first 10 minutes. Isidore had a cracking chance. I don't know whether you're seeing the highlights or seeing the game.
Highlights. Yeah.
Aye. So you had a good chance, went through the player's legs, just went past the post. But the first 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes, they were diving about. Some of their players were rolling around at tackles. I think Ndoye did it, and McAtee did it as well. And then, obviously, just before 10 minutes before half time, you've probably seen the incident. This with Trahune and Milenkovic. I think referee just had enough. Sick of their diving antics, and put a stop to it. Now, when you first see it, it looks like a foul.
Yeah.
But when it's slowed down, it doesn't touch him. You can see Hume's actually turned around and he's actually running away when he's still falling down. So you might have a different perspective. Obviously, some of the fans might be a little bit biased, but for me, it wasn't a foul.
I think you're right,
and it was trying to get Trahune boot, and referee, I thought was bang on. I thought he was bang on.
Yeah, no, I think with that challenge, mate, you're right. It looked like he'd broke him, did it? But like you say, when you slow it down and look at it again, I was quite surprised that he didn't make any contacts, but he made a meal of it.
Big style, and then obviously we get the goal from that as well, which kind of rubs salt in their wounds. But another assist from Xhaka. That's 3 assists he's got already this season. Pinpoint cross, Al directly at the back post, puts it away. And
very scrappy in that box for that one. Very scrappy.
But there's nobody marking him, Matty. He got it at the back post. He gets a free run. So he was.
Were they claiming a foul or something as well? Like he pulled, like when the players had gone down.
Yeah. Masuaku wrestled one of their players to the ground, but
it was not like I say, it was onside, and it was just poor defending.
Just onside. My goalkeeper gets a hand with it, and we got 1 out. But from then on, it was kind of backs to the wall. But that defensive line, like you'd expect, bodies on the line, and Roofs again was absolutely immense. He's absolutely immense.
I hate him. He's so good, mate. He's so good. I kind of wasn't sure if it were a fluke, the other week when he had that barnstormer when he was saving everything. I'm thinking every time I see Roofs play, you signed a top draw keeper there, mate. You'll do well to hang on to him if he maintains this all season, because good keepers, they're so hard to find. We've seen some of the big boys spend tens and tens of millions of pounds on goalkeepers, and they've been absolute calamities. I know he's had a calamity on him already this season. There's been one on what went past him, but this is going to happen with goalkeepers at this level. There will be odd one, and they're always highlighted. But you can just see in him, mate. He looks such a good keeper. I wouldn't know what a good keeper is. I don't think if he had me in face being a Leeds fan. Although Carl Darlow's banging now, don't get me wrong. But maybe a Leeds fan's not the best to comment on a goalkeeper. But we know what shit looks like, and he's not shit. I'll tell you that.
No, and he's only 22 now, Matty, so he's only going to get better. And he more than made up for that error that he made against Villa. So, I mean, but for all, it was backs to the wall for us. They didn't give a shot on target until 67 minutes. So, for all they had all the possession, they didn't really create that much. Having said that, Chris Wood misses an absolute sitter. You'd put your house on him going at the back post. How he missed it, I didn't know. But when it's your day, it's your day.
You've met Forest, and you're going to meet scum. For me, this is me being a bit of a dick as a Leeds fan, going, nah, you're not as good as you think.
Met them at the right time.
Genuinely, yeah. And if we played Forest under a new manager, or if we were playing scum this weekend, I'd say the same. Genuinely, it's a great time to play Forest away. Like when you look at the fixtures before season, Forest away, based on what we saw last year, although I have predicted Forest to have a really poor season this season with Europe and all that, even though that hasn't really kicked in yet for them, they're just in a bit of a shit show at the minute. But it is a good time to play Forest. They're not the side they were. You highlighted that. Under Ange, you're going to get chances. You'll always get chances under Ange as well. And I think to go away to Scum this weekend, I look at that and think, I put you favourites against Scum. That might sound wild. I have you favourites, or I have you where you will get something at Scum. I'd be shocked if they beat you, which is, again, probably sounds wild because you're going away to Manchester United. But again, I think that's 2 away games that look really tough on paper. You probably look at before season win and say we're getting no out of them 2. All of a sudden, you look at it and think you could get 6 points out of 2 hard away games on paper.
Mm-hmm. It's mad. It's just mad how the season's pan out. I mean, we could say the same about you played Wolves at the best time, didn't you? You know, you got into Wolves there, really struggling to get a 3-1.
They were fucking class, Wayne. What you want about?
Similar type of
Wolves,
scenario.
mate. Have you seen their teeth? The Welsh sharp. Shut up, Wayne. Wolves, mate. I know you're only messing. I'm only messing, mate. But yeah. Oh, do that again, Wayne.
Right, so Tam says for the last 32 games, even if we just match Leicester's points haul from last year, we have 35 points. Nowhere are we that terrible. Safe as houses us. I wouldn't gone that far, but it's certainly looking decent.
Yes.
Mike's in there again. Man United at one point was like our feeder club. Well, you're right. You know, all the players that we got from there, you know, Wes Brown and John O'Shea and all them type of players that we had. Ryan says, hate Man United. We and Man City have been shite in low divisions where Man United have always been up there. Hate them. Ian Brown, how the fuck are we 5-1 to win? It's worth a tenner for the crack. I mean, us to win, us 5-1 for the win there. Is it going to get a pound of your money, Matty?
Well, I'm not a gambling man, but it should be if you gamble. I'll tell you that. If you're gambling, I'd be whacking something on there 100%. That's great odds.
It is, aye. But I mean, so we get the win. It's a cracking, it's an unbelievable win. Yes, you can see Forest with a better side, which they were, but like you've seen, you didn't take your chances. You didn't win games, and our defensive performance was immense again. And that back four now, with the exception of Masuaku, of course, who I thought had an absolute shocker for his first game. So he's probably the weak link at the back. Trey Hume didn't have his best game either at right back, so we might even see some changes come the weekend, because like what you were saying there about when you're winning, do you then short the defence? The last 15 minutes where you bring Ballard on, we're going 5 at the back and we shut them out. We'll try to shut them out. The 5 at the back that we played against Villa worked and we'll get a draw there. So there is potential to do that again at United, play that 5 at the back. I mean, similar to what was said about Forest, like Gibbs, White and all them, if you stop them from playing, that just shows you where they are when they weren't even in the team on Saturday against us. So
yeah, no, it does, mate. 100%. When you look at your side and so far this season, and obviously at the weekend, we know you're solid, you're combative in midfield. You've got a great midfield three, even with thinking out, you're still doing well in there. Your defence is solid. You've got some good players there. Your keeper's unreal. How do you feel you're playing with the ball? You know, like we spoke about Leeds United this season, hard to beat, tough to beat. You've done something similar. You know, really good players off the ball, really well coached. How do you feel with the ball? Do you feel you're an exciting team to watch? Do you feel like there's loads of goals in your team? Because I don't like your wingers. I like the rest of your team. I'm not keen on your wingers. Outside my view on that, just wondered from your point of view, do you think you're an exciting team, or do you think there's more to come in an attacking sort of threat?
I don't think we've been kind of, a really fast flow football, Matty, to be fair. The West Ham game, second half, we took control, scored 3 goals. Brentford, we had a good attacking threat at home. I think at home we will see more of that attacking kind of fluid player. I agree with you, the wingers. I mean, Adingra has now found himself out of the team, so it just shows you that he hasn't really done it. Talby, for me, is still settling into the Premier League, but he is getting better game on game. I think Lafia is actually doing a good job out there. As much as I don't like him playing left-hand side, he's actually doing all right. He's grafting, he's tackling, he's tracking back, and he's working his socks off, which is what you need, especially away from home. And we've got Siddiqui, who, honestly, Siddiqui's just absolutely unbelievable. Out of him and Diarra, he is the best out of the two so far this season. Diarra's injured now, but Siddiqui's been absolutely unbelievable. Wow. He just covers, he's just everywhere. He just needs stopping him. Even like 90-odd minutes, he's like still chasing people down and running around the pitch, and it's nuts. I've never seen fitness like it. I suppose the time will tell when we're playing at home against the teams that we're expected to beat, how we approach them games and how we kind of attack teams. I don't think Lebris has been. He's playing that type of football. We're hard to beat, and we are playing counter-attacking football. So, but I mean, we're just well organised, Matty, at this minute in time. Well organised and doing what we have to do. I mean, even Palace, you stop Palace from scoring. I mean, look what they did Liverpool at the weekend. I think it's we were only the second team to stop them scoring since November last year. So,
crazy that when you think of that, mate, because they looked unbelievable against Liverpool. They looked most exciting brand of football in league at minute watching them playing it, and you managed to keep them goalless. So yeah.
I mean, yes, you can see they had Wharton out and a couple of other players, but at the end of the day, they're still a Premier League side, and we restricted them to very little. So it's. But our stats for the weekend, I mean, really, really good. I mean, they're Siddiqui there, 94% passing accuracy, 29 out of 31. Xhaka, he's tremendous self again. He's been the big difference, I think, in our season. He's just been absolutely immense. Like, without him, I don't know where I would be. But even Chris Reed came in. He was unlucky to come off against Villa, but he put another good shift in on Saturday, and he didn't look out of place, which is good to see, young lad.
Good.
So it's all positive signs, and now like I say, if we can get into this international break with even a point at United will be a massive bonus, I think. I mean,
of course.
And our time's gone by. You got United, expect to get out of you, but them days are long gone. They're just a poor side. They are just a poor side.
Yeah, of course, yeah, they're really poor, mate. Like you say, you've allowed yourself. I mean, if I'm saying this on 8 points and we're at home at Tottenham, I'm even saying, if we lose to Tottenham but we play well, I aren't going to be too disheartened. We'd go in 8 points out of 7 games, above a points per game. I'd be happy with that. You on 11 points, if you have a turgid performance and come out of there with nothing, you're still in an absolutely class spot. You're probably still in top 8 at that point, top 9 still. Well, top 10, you're probably still in top 10, even if you lose at Scum. You've allowed yourself that way with the start you've had. So, yeah.
You played Newcastle at the right time and Wolves.
we did, mate. We did. But you say that, but a lot of people go on about that. They had injuries, they had people out. So did we. We had no Tanaka or Ampadu. I know they're not Gomeres and Joe Linton, but they are our equivalent of. So, yeah. So, in all fairness, that's the draw. I didn't want to draw. So, fuck it.
Ryan says exactly, Matty, you played Newcastle and Wolves at the right time, you see it. Forest aren't the same team, I disagree. They've still got some players so that they aren't suddenly a bad side. Like I said, I just think the appointing him is an absolutely crazy decision. He doesn't, his football doesn't suit the players they have. Just because the owner's gone power mad and decided he wants his own man in.
End of the day, I'm not saying bad Ryan there. They've still got good players. They're still at Forest, but the form, a manager change. If you're playing Forest 20 games in last season, you're getting beaten. You are getting beaten. It's a totally different Forest to where they were last season, regardless of what you think. Circumstances changed it, and going to Forest now is a much easier game than it was last season. So I would disagree with your point, Ryan. If you're not too sure, let's take it outside, Paul.
Yeah. I haven't said yet, but it's the 65 people watching, so thanks for everybody for tuning in. Like I say, I do apologise for this stream. It's absolutely doing my tits in watching me like a robot on the screen. I'm absolutely fuming at this. It's been champion all day, and like last week, it's just spoiled the show and just looks unprofessional. So I do apologise. I will try and sort it for the next time.
Don't worry about it. I've just had a message come from my phone saying I love seeing Wayne stiffen up. Don't worry about it.
Was that my wife? That was
I'm on one today.
Oh, dear me. Cracking. Seeing the wingers aren't the best. I think, like I say, I've just been to know wingers. If it's another 5-1, surely even the draw is a decent price. It probably will be, Black Cats says Talby looks better. Oh, he does actually. We've played him on the left-hand side in the second half of the game, and he looks a different player, but we are keeping the ball well. Adingra has put great crosses in. He has, but there's a reason why he's not getting a game. Tam, we don't play with the ball for the ball's sake. Pointless possession stats is tippy-tappy, Man City style, not ours. Ian Brown says draws 3-1. We could be better with 2 up top, and Traore looks like he might be a starter sooner rather than later. Traore came on Saturday, looks decent.
Does it? I'm going to ask you about him. Good signing, yeah.
I mean, he only came off the last 15-20 minutes, but he looks a player.
Yeah, I know that anyway, yeah.
Skillful. John W says, I'm sure Ange's reading a prepared statement taped to the floor in the post-match interviews. He's always looking down. I've noticed that. Leeds will finish on top of Sunderland.
Too right, Richard.
Go on,
Too
Richie.
right.
Go on, Richie.
Too
Ryan
right.
says, we beat West Ham and Brentford, teams we had to beat, so we've shown that we can do it. Well, that's it. We've done what we've had to do. We've at home, we've been class. That's what's going to keep us up. You know, getting points at Palace and winning at Forest. You know, you've got to pick up some points away from home, but your home form is bread and butter. What you've got to do, and we've done it so far. So, Richie Hawkins, Liverpool beaten again tonight. So they must have getting beaten in the Champions League. And now we're getting beat 1-0. Wayne, how you Wayne, mate? So Wayne says the Regis effect. I mean, he's got a lot to do with it. You know, he's got a. For me, he reminds me a lot of Arsene Wenger. He seems to be a study of teams and tactics wise. He seems to get things spot on 9 times out of 10. Yeah. So far, so good. Watch Sunderland Saturday, a boring team. Arthur Bushby might be boring, but we come away with 3 points. So you know, what do you want? Do you want exciting football and getting beat, or
Wayne, there's no such thing as being boring when you're the fan of the team winning. There isn't. You know, if you come out the wrong side of it, then you can be fuming. But if you win a game, you're not talking about how boring that was. You're just not. You might do if you're used to winning every week and it's turned. But when you've just come up from Championship, if you're winning 1-0 every week, mate, you don't give a shit, do you?
Of course, you just win. You just got to win by any way you can. That's a good stat. Arthur's on one tonight. He said Newcastle run Sunderland all over Wearside. Well, we'll see. They might well do, but it'll be a lot closer than what it was last time we played them. I'll tell you that for now.
Welcome to the Leeds version of Ian Brown. You are knackered now. Arthur's got your channel on lockdown, mate. You are knackered. Yeah, go on, Arthur.
Mayenda has to start of the weekend. He'll run rings around Maguire. I don't know. Maguire probably won't even be playing, will he? To be fair. No. There were times we'd struggle to name a consistent player in the squad. Now we're struggling to name a player who is underperforming. You're right there. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, mate. Yes, hit that like button if you didn't mind. We'll try and get towards 50 towards the end of the show. Conrad's in. Hiya, Conrad, mate. Thanks for tuning in. I will try and sort this show before our show tomorrow night. So I do apologise if I'm like a robot again. Gary, Manu will never get back to Fergie time. They are just treading waters or disjointing. They are being left behind. They're just being a shit show. That's all they are. They're just a shit show at the minute.
They're awful.
Arthur, only good thing about Sun is I don't live there. Right, all right, neighbour. Oh, dear me. Bassnas on Leeds says Lebris Wenger comparison is mental. Well, you might say that, but you know, he was linked with a Brentford job in the start of the summer. You know, I mean, I think there is some comparisons there. But that's just my opinion. That's what it's all about. UK Urban Pepper, Mike's in the Arthur Bushby. That comment may not age well. Arthur's kicked ball in the stands, hit fan with ball, went over to fan, give something, ref, sent him off. And, I don't know what he means by that.
No idea.
Anyway, which takes us on to the next. Must have read our minds, Matty.
Yes,
so based on what we were speaking about before. So Matty come up with a good idea before the show to kind of put our combined 11s between us and Leeds and who would get into each other's squad and who we would have. So because I can't upload mine, Matty, I'm going to put yours on the screen. I've not looked at this yet because it took us 20 minutes to upload it, but here you are. So this is your combined 11. So go on, talk us through this.
This is not going to go down well with your lot, obviously, but I don't give a shit. This is my 11. So, and I want to get your opinions on these as well, right, as we go through them. So, I've got 2 Sunderland players in, which is obviously going to sound not enough for you guys, right? But we'll start at the top of the pitch. Calvert-Lewin. And you know I'm a massive Isidore fan. Really big Isidore fan. I haven't seen enough of Broby to even comment. Calvert-Lewin over Isidore. You may laugh at that. But I would say that you know, he's just a better striker currently. Experience and all that, I would have Calvert-Lewin over Isidore. But I would have Isidore, by the way, at Leeds United. I think he's a talent. Okafor on the left, Nonto on the right. I would say I don't rate your wingers. I don't need to say much more on that. I think them, you know, even Dan James, you'd probably say Dan James over Nonto, you know. I think the wingers, so that front three for me, I think your front three is probably I look at your front three and think it's the weakest part of your side. you may disagree, but I think your defence and your midfield are decent. But then again, our midfield's obviously better. So, you know, Siddiqui, obviously Diarra and Xhaka being the three, I would presume you probably slot all three of them over ours. I think Longstaff, Ampadu, I think Stack's probably arguably a better midfielder than all six I've just named there. Genuinely do. Whether he shows it or not between that and we'll have to see. Ampadu and Longstaff, maybe I'm just being biased, but who gives a shit? This is my 11. I think I'm a massive fan of Trey Hume, you know this. Massive fan of Trey Hume, but Bogle, for me, is a better player. Goodmanson, he's definitely going to come in because of how well he is. Rodon has to be in that side, and it really just left me Strauch or Alderete, and I thought Alderete is better than Strauch. And Carl Darlow or Perry, I think it's no comparison with Rose. I think he's that good. So there's a bit of stipulation there to argue Siddiqui and Xhaka, but I couldn't take two of those players out to slot yours in. But I'm not a twat. I can sort of see. Like, I would have Isidore, I would have Xhaka, I would have Siddiqui, I would have Trey Hume. I'd have all of them at Leeds. And there's an argument that, you know, if they were at Leeds, which they're not, granted, if they were, they could be in the starting 11 over some of these players. But as a starter, I would go with that. And that's how I feel about our side at the minute, which just goes to show how infused I am about them, because I rate a lot of your players too. There's definitely 5 or 6 I would take. But yeah, right now, that would be my combined 11.
That's one a good shout, apart from your midfield shite.
I knew you'd say that. I know for a fact it's going to be a total swap for your free midfield for you. Like,
no, 100%. I mean, obviously, I can't put mine on the screen because I couldn't get it uploaded. But I've got Roos in goal. I've got Bogle at right back. I think Bogle is a better player than Hume. I just think he offers more going forward than Trey Hume. I just think he's a better player. I think he's probably. I mean, Hume might improve past him. I didn't know, but at this moment in time, I'd have Bogle. I've got McQuarrie and Alderete in the middle because I think Nordy's been absolutely immense this season. He's been tremendous. He's never been dribbled past this season in the games he's played, which is another amazing stat. Part of the ones that we're racking up. I've got Goodmanson as well. Obviously, our left back Ryan Aildor gets sent off at the week. And I think the cover Massawater was not good enough either. So I'd have Goodmanson from what I've seen. Our midfield three, like you say, I've got Xhaka, Siddiqui and Diarra over your three. I just think Xhaka probably walks into 90% of the teams in the Premier League still.
I think the Diarra one's a bit mental, that you think he's better than every single one of those three for us. Diarra.
Well, I would never ever have Longstaff in the side if he was an £100 million player, so he was never going to get in. But Stack's impressed. He has impressed me so far. I mean, he has, but I just think I didn't know. Just that silly free kick he gave away at the weekend was just a bit of in a dangerous position. He should know better. That's just. And I've got up front. I've took Isidore up front. I've got Dan James on the right, like you probably knew I would. I think Dan James at this moment in time is better than our right-sided player. I think he's better than Talby at this moment in time. Talby has shown signs of improvement. I've got Lafayette on the left-hand side. Just been saying there, I don't like him playing out there, but I just and I've got Isidore. I must admit, I am surprised at Calvert-Lewin how well he's done, and based on what he's done in the past, at this minute he probably is a better striker than Isidore. But Isidore is another one who surprised me. I didn't think he would have the quality to be a Premier League striker, but he's absolutely, he's doing what it says in the tin so far. He's confident. He's showing strength, and he's a confidence player. So if he continues with that, we'll see how long it lasts. He's one of them might blow hot and cold, but we've got Broby to come in as well, and Mienda's still there chomping the bit as well. So
how many Leeds players you got in? How many Leeds players you put in there? 3.
I've got. I had Bogle, Goodmanson, and James.
So I put 2 and you put 3 Leeds players in. So basically, you're saying Leeds are better. That's what you're kind of saying.
Twat, dickhead.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, dear me. But that's it. So Alice, that's answered your question. That's our combined.
It's what I expected. To be fair, I thought jest out. Like I said, there's loads of players. I agree. I could have. There's an argument that Xhaka's better than any of our midfielders, obviously. You know, it probably is, but based on how I feel at the minute, I can't not put them in. But a little bit of jesting there, only banging to win. But the two that are in are stonewallers for me. I love both of them players. But yeah, if I was to put any other Sunderland player in there, it probably would have been Xhaka for maybe one of ours. But I thought, sod it, it creates a little bit of good content.
Yeah,
the chat's popping off, they're loving it. They're getting all excited and shit. I love it. You know, one of them. It doesn't matter about what you say about the team. We've got to take 6 points off you this season at some point anyway. We took 4 last time. It would have been 6 if us keeping Ant front ball in his net, you know, and all that shit. But you know, half of your people left early, so they didn't see it going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's one of them.
That story. No, that story's a load of bullshit and all that's been going round. That's an absolute load of bollocks. I'll just tell you that one. Our stadium's full and ours full.
Yeah, I know.
But there's a bit of a blow. So this popped up in the chat earlier. So there's rumours flying around Nordy has picked up a thigh strain, so he might not be playing the weekend. But never mind, we've still got Big Dan Barfoot to come back in the team. So, but he will be a miss if he is injured, and maybe the international break has come at the right time. So let's hope it's not as bad, or you know, we don't think it's not a serious injury. Dear me, 5 minutes to go, mate. 5 minutes.
James could pop up today as well.
Oh, I've seen that. I've been asking about that. So it's a bit. I think you're going to update us on Thursday, isn't he, about how bad that injury is?
Yeah, I mean, the rumours this morning were it's an ACL, so we were like, oh, never. And then it's been sort of a bit of cold water poured on that, and we've heard another local journalist, a trusted one too, come out and say it's weeks rather than months, so it shouldn't be an ACL, obviously, with that length of time. So honestly, we don't know. We don't know if it's really bad news or it's not too bad, but we know he's injured. But he's been injured so far this season, so it won't be a loss if it's a few more weeks. But if it's a season ender, then you know we already wanted a right winger anyway in the window. We didn't get it. To lose Dan James too, you know, you're probably relying on Aronson then. You know, probably fully week in, week out on that right hand side. So, yeah, it is a worry if it is long term, but hopefully it's not.
Fingers crossed, aye. But so just before we wrap up, then we'll touch on the weekend's game. So, Tottenham, how are you feeling about Tottenham? And how you think you might potentially lose against Tottenham at the weekend? I mean, I didn't know. I think they've had a couple of iffy performances lately, Tottenham. So you never know. Again, like they were last season, you never know which Tottenham are going to turn up. I think Thomas Frank's brought a lot of stability this season. They do look 100% better, but I do still think they've got that kind of performance in them where they can chuck a bad one in. So, what's your thoughts on Tottenham at the weekend?
I'm getting more confident as the week goes on. I think it's a game. There isn't that much pressure on us to go get the 3 points. I don't think. I'd love them. I think we can get them. If we lose, I don't think, as long as performance is there, I don't think Ellen Road's going to turn. If we'd have lost it, when we were 1-0 down at Wolves last week, mate, I was, oh no. But then see him fight back and then to see him go, a goal down at home and get back to 2-1, I'm really confident where we are. If Tottenham turn up and play to their top of their ability, they will beat us because that's how it works. If they come, they're a little bit off it. We're playing today as well. That obviously helps. We spoke about that. Anyone outside those European spots may get aided at times this season with European football midweek. That may help. I've looked at them recently and thought, actually, when I look at their side, is there anyone I'm really fearful of? They've got a great manager. Is the manager probably better than some of their parts? I'd probably say he is. Good side, exciting players in the side. They're always going to have a chance, but they're not. They don't fear. I aren't fearful of them coming to Welling Road. I'm more excited. I don't think we'll lose the game. I'll be honest. I feel very similar to Bournemouth. We can win if we play and switch on for 90 minutes because they're very similar to Bournemouth in where they play for me. But probably not as good at the back, and they have been this season. But I do feel like you can get at Spurs. So yeah, I'm gonna tip us to win the game 2-1. Although I'll probably think 1-1 to be honest. But I aren't scared. I'm just excited. Win. That's how I feel at the minute. I was scared going to Wolves. Now I'm in a good spot. I'm just excited. And if we're not excited about watching Tottenham come to Welling Road, why are we even in Premier League? So I'm going to try and not be fearful of any game and just go into it, with my eyes wide open. It is what it is. We're here and this is what we're here for. We've got to beat teams around us, but I aren't in this league to play Burnley week in, week out. And, exactly. Brentford and shit like that, mate. I'm here to play big boys and watch our boys compete.
Exactly, and I think that the two games that the last two games you've massively improved. So I think you're getting there a lot more confident than what you have been. Like you've just been saying there, you lose at Wolves, it's a different game. You lose against Bournemouth, a different game. The pressure's well and truly on. But now, I think you get in there. I think you've got a good chance of getting at least a point out of the game. I think. I don't think there's any team, bar us, of course, that'll go in there and do well this season. So.
Yes, come on, Wayne boy. You can do well. You did well at our place last season, but you still lost, Wayne.
Right, for 85 minutes, I would read that. But I think I'd like to say it's always going to be a tough place to get into your place. So you on your day you can beat anybody. So, but a point, I suppose, you now going into the break potentially. With 9 points, it's a crack and returning it from the start of the season. Really, you're still miles ahead. So I'll
bet you for that. How about you? How about your boys? Come on.
Honestly, I didn't feel us getting United at all. I can really see us getting some out of the game, and at least a point. I just think the pressure is all on them, and I just don't think they're handling the pressure either. That he's the man that's stubborn. He'll not change the formation, not change the way they play, and they haven't got the players. They haven't got the players to play what he wants. I'm just hoping Ahmad doesn't have a worldie because he know that he'll be back this weekend. He's been out because he's had a family bereavement, so he missed the game up against Brentford at the weekend. So no doubt he'll be back, which be nice to see him. But just hope he doesn't put in a performance which we know he can do. But as far as we're concerned, we've gone there now to lose. I think we're the team in the better form. we're the better side. You know what I mean? I think that they're just struggling all over the pitch.
You're a team, Wayne. You're a team. They are a team. They're a bunch of individuals.
I think Fernandes is trying to carry the team on his own, and he's buckling under the pressure. I think he's really struggling. So I think we'll go in there, and I'm going to tip us to get a win. I am. I mean, it might come back and bite us on the arse, but I might get tanked 3 or 4. You never know. Man United might turn up on a day. I do think if we beat them at the weekend, though, I do think that he's looking very sick. I do think he's looking like he might lose his job.
Yeah, I think you win 2-1. I think they'll score. Right. I think you'll get a couple. I think 2-1 you, and you get Annie sacked, and then I'm fuming because you've got him sacked, and then they may turn it around. So I'm not happy.
And then they come for Daniel Farker. That'll just be.
Yeah, imagine. Get out.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So what did you give us a score prediction for your game at the weekend?
Our game, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds, and I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland as well. I think we're both.
Just a parting comment there from Tam.
Oh, honestly, Tam. Tam, just go read a book. Seriously. Go read a book, pal. Go do some research, mate.
Cheers, winning, Matty. If we both get a point of the weekend, it'll do. I hope everybody's a great week. You're right there. I mean, a point against Tottenham and Man United will be 2 decent points on the grand scheme of things, I suppose. But that's it, Matty. Time's up. 60 people in the there watching so far. Give that a like, please. Don't forget, if you didn't mind, to keep on commenting after the show. And if you can, like, share. Can see Matty's channel, subscribe if you want as well. He's doing really, really good things on his channel at the minute. He's much better at this live presenting like than me because I'm absolutely dog shite. Dog shite with a dog shite camera and a dog shit setup.
What do you do? You know, like when you go on a new website, Wayne, and it'll ask you if you're a robot and you've got to tick a box. What do you click?
Yes, of course I do. I am a robot.
I am a robot.
I am a robot. Like,
how many traffic lights can you see in the screen? You're like, fucking hell.
Like fucking Peter Crouch sitting there.
I tell you what, it's been me and Wayne get on like house on fire, as you can tell. I love it a bit. I think it's class, right? And it's been a nice little slow burn of this, and I feel like it's the first time the chat sort of. I've really enjoyed this, by the way. Small club, the popping off, yeah. Like, I really enjoy it. What I will say is, I don't think, Wayne, when you've done, midweek Mackhams, I don't think you've had any Leeds fans in your chat when it's not Leeds and Sunderland chat.
No.
What I'll say is, for this small club, got a hell of a lot of Sunderland fans. We know what to do on a fucking Friday night. Who like to watch me waffle on for an hour and a half. I tell you that, Ian Brown and others. So this small club and this fat 6'2" big man don't half attract some Sunderland numbers over our side of the channel. It's quite fun. But yeah, loved it.
Having said that, though, that is why we've set this up to help, get fans from both sides come on and contribute,
Love it.
and it's doing what we hope it would do. So,
Of course,
long may
it's
it
friendly
continue.
banter with two great, well supported sides. You know how much I admire you as a club. I am one of these people who just throws dirt for the sake of it. You're not a small club. If we are, that's fine, my mate. We'll take 6 points off you. It's all good. But yeah, top guy win. Love the banter. Good luck for the weekend. And that's the one. And we have bridged the gap, Wayne. That's money. But look at the title. We are bridging the gap.
Exactly.
We are bridging the gap.
So anyway, like I say, thanks to everybody who's watched and tuned in. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep hyping. I did the video where I tried to explain the algorithm thing. It seems to have worked. The last couple of videos have done quite well. So keep on doing what you're doing. It's greatly appreciated. Same for Matty. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep hyping these videos as well. And we'll see you in the next one, which will be on Matty's show next week. Like I say, where it'll be a lot better and a lot more professional. But until next week, we'll see you later. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
Sunderland's where we live and fight with pride.